Maybe we were all wrong about the Miami Heat's plan to get back on the path toward championship contention. Instead of potentially making a big move in 2026, there's an argument to be made that the Heat's bold plans for the future could revolve around 2027 instead. If that's the case, it will make many already impatient Heat fans that much more restless. That's because the free agent pool for 2026 is already beginning to drain. Add in the likelihood that Luka Doncic and De'Aaron Fox will sign extensions later this summer, and there simply won't be many options on the table for the Heat. But in 2027, that could be much different. The 2027 free agency possibilities. Again, much of this could change with extensions and trade demands between now and 2027. However, there's a chance that Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, Karl-Anthony Towns, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard, Trae Young, Kyrie Irving, Brandon Ingram, Michael Porter Jr., and other notable players could hit free agency. History tells us that not all these players will hit the open market, but there's at least an outside chance that they do. And if that is indeed the case, it would make even more sense for Miami to carry its financial flexibility into 2027. Or, at the very least, leave themselves open to anything and everything between now and then. The Heat just need to put themselves in position. And that may be the plan for the Heat. At the very least, this front office must put itself in a position to jump at one of these opportunities. Assuming the Heat wants to find a path toward acquiring a star player in the next couple of years, going down this path with one of these players is the way to accomplish that. It's understandable that the acquisition game has changed in the association. But with the Heat slowly getting control of their draft future with every passing day, the possibility of landing a star player, via trade or free agency, gets that much more likely. By next summer, they will have plenty of flexibility to include 3 to 4 and perhaps more future first-round picks into trade offers. That's something they haven't had the luxury of doing in a very long time. So if the Heat needs to go the trade route to acquire a star player in the next 2 seasons, they should be perfectly positioned to pull that off. At the same time, it wouldn't hurt to also have the financial flexibility to add a player in free agency, especially in the event a big name like Giannis Antetokounmpo decides he'd much rather test the market in 2 years to have complete control of his future. In many ways, it does seem as if this could be the path the Heat needs to take in an evolving NBA. Even with the possibilities that may arise in 2026, it's probably a much safer bet to assume the Heat may have to wait until 2027 to make a big splash. Because of their past success, you can only predict that something big is coming for the Heat franchise. The question is, will it come as soon as 2026, or would it be better to plan for the summer of 2027? Either way, one thing is clear: the fan base needs to be prepared to practice some more patience. It may not be what fans want to hear, but it could be the truth about this team's future. Draft night was a bit of a roller coaster for the Miami Heat. After seemingly being in line to draft Walter Clayton Jr. from the Florida Gators, the Heat were leapfrogged by the Utah Jazz and instead pivoted to draft Kasparas Dzikusionis out of Illinois. At the time of the draft, Dzikusionis was seen as a potential steal. His performance in the Summer League quieted some of those accolades, but at least some NBA executives believe that Dzikusionis still has the potential to make everyone else regret not taking him. NBA executives named Kasparas Dzikusionis a steal of the draft. ESPN ran a poll where they anonymously polled 20 NBA executives and scouts and asked them a variety of questions. Among the categories was, which rookie will be the biggest draft steal? While there was a wide range of responses to this question, Dzikusionis came in third in this category. It highlights that despite the struggles Dzikusionis had to open Summer League, there are those around the NBA who still envision a high ceiling for the number 20 pick. Admittedly, Dzikusionis did struggle hard at times. The biggest concern was the number of turnovers he was prone to and the lack of any real playmaking. When Dzikusionis did have success, it was his jump shot doing the damage, but Heat fans would like to see him be stronger when attacking the rim. To be fair to Dzikusionis, and this is the case with any Summer League roster, he was playing with a hodgepodge group of players with whom he had no cohesion. Once he goes through training camp with the main roster, he should have a better idea of how to distribute. And Jakushionis did get stronger toward the tail end of the summer compared to his first couple of outings, so there is a pathway for him to continue to improve once the season begins for real. Given the state of Miami's roster, the Heat are in need of Jakushionis stepping up by season's end with proof he is ready for a larger role by 2026 to 27. Hopefully, the NBA executives are right that he is the steal of the draft. Gabe Mattson, a skilled three-point shooter whose accuracy dropped dramatically at Utah last season, has reached a temporary verbal agreement to join the Heat for training camp, according to a league source. Mattson, 6'5", played 2 games at Cincinnati as a freshman before transferring to Utah, where he appeared in 120 games and started 103. He averaged 15.2 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 2.5 assists last season while shooting 37.1% from the field and 32.2% on threes. That 32.2% accuracy was well below 39.3%, 36.9%, and 38.6% he shot on threes the previous 3 seasons. For his career, Mattson shot 36% on threes, 315 and 874, and became Utah's career leader in that area. Draft Express rated him the 89th best prospect in last month's NBA draft. He played Summer League for the Golden State Warriors and averaged 10.5 points on 58.8% three-point shooting in 4 games. He averaged 12.5 minutes per game and had 1 game in which he hit 6 threes and scored 22 points in 16 minutes. Mattson signed an Exhibit 10 contract, a path which allows the Heat to move him to its G League team, if both sides are agreeable to that, if he either doesn't make the 15-man roster or if his contract is not converted to a two-way deal. Mattson will be the 17th player under contract to the Heat. While 18 players, 15 on standard contracts and 3 on two-way contracts, is the regular season limit, NBA teams are allowed to carry up to 21 players during the off-season and preseason, including up to 3 two-way contract players. The 14 players signed by the Heat to standard contracts for next season are Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, Andrew Wiggins, Terry Rozier, Norman Powell, Davion Mitchell, Simone Fontecchio, Haywood Highsmith, Nikola Jovic, Kel'el Ware, Jamie Jaquez Jr., Kasparas Jakushionis, Pelle Larsson, and Keshad Johnson. Forward Myron Gardner and center Vlad Golden are signed to two-way contracts, which make players eligible to appear in as many as 50 games in a season. The 2 two-way contract players are Gardner and Golden. The Heat's third and final two-way contract spot could go to guard Drew Smith, who has a qualifying offer in place for Miami to return on such a contract.